Hey, what's up everybody? An inevitable video, I suppose. They are shutting down the Xbox 360 store next year, so I'm amazed that it even took this long for them to do this, but you know, it had to happen eventually. And we're lucky with this. This is actually not that big of a deal, and that's what I'm going to talk about here. I mean, it is, but it's not. It's not like other stores that have been shut down. Like, it's half-ass shutting down. It's just, if you're on a 360 console, no more buying anything. And for games that were never made backwards compatible, you're out of luck unless it was on physical. So let's go over this here, and I'll talk about the lack of severity of this, if you will, because it's actually a good thing overall. Microsoft's policy is much better than anybody else's with regards to preservation. So we're not losing as much as we have in some of these other instances. But there will be a caveat to that I'll talk about. So they are delisting everything on the Microsoft Store, or the Microsoft Marketplace, whatever the hell you want to call that thing, that ancient website design from like 10 years ago that they still have up, and then that's the 360 storefront as well. And they already removed a bunch of titles from that storefront earlier this year, like the Left 4 Dead games and stuff like that, that for whatever reason was not purchasable on a modern Xbox, even though it was backwards compatible, but you could still buy it on the old store. But now, obviously, you can't. I think that was like February that they got rid of that, something like that. But they're going to close this down July 29th of 2024, so that's almost a whole year's worth. It's over 11 months' time to get everything, which is definitely a sufficient warning, I would say, especially for the amount of stuff there is. I mean, it's a good warning. And here, this isn't a full list that this site has provided. I'm on Pure Xbox. This is just a selection. Though they say many games never actually got a digital release on Xbox 360, but there's still around 1,000 titles on there, which 1,000 seems kind of crazy to me. And then here's a small selection of titles. Aliens, Colonial Marines, I'm pretty sure that was that game that was apparently terrible. Alone in the Dark, Armored Core, Verdict Day, Backbreaker Vengeance. Is that football game? Possibly. Bionic Commando, Burnout 3 Takedown, backwards compatible one. Call of Duty Classic, Crash Bandicoot. Fight Night Round 3 really wasn't that backwards compatible? Oh, okay, that was the other one. Gun, Minecraft Xbox 360 edition, Phantasy Star Universe, Ridge Racer Unbounded, which was a physical game. Some of these were physical games. Section 8 Prejudice, The Prejudice, Singularity, South Park, multiple games. Space Channel 5 Part 2. Oh! That's, is that the one that's on the Dreamcast collection? Or, because it says Part 2, I don't know. That should be the one that's on the Dreamcast collection. Yeah, it is. Okay, so that's preserved on physical. I thought so. Then it says Sonic the Hedgehog. That's the 2006 version, which you can actually buy the game for $5. Now, I don't know if they made Sonic 4 episodes backwards compatible, but if not, they're gone. Which, from what I remember, they weren't that good anyway. But like, a lot of that arcade stuff, that obscure arcade stuff, is going to be gone. All the indie games are gone already. I think it was like 2017 that they got rid of all those, which I didn't even realize that they were gone until like way later. Again, a lot of the indie games weren't great. It's just kind of a little piece of history. But even today, if you have those on your download history, you can still download them and play them. And that's obviously going to be the case for everything else here. Anything that's delisted will be still playable and downloadable forever. For as long as the service connects to Xbox Live, it'll be acquirable if you own it. So that's obviously good, and that's no surprise. But there is a lot of other random stuff that will be lost. So like the old Avatar costumes and stuff will be gone. The old Gamer Pick packs will be gone. Although that's not a huge deal. If they're backed up, you can apply a custom Gamer Pick on the 360 using different tools for the picture packs. As long as they were officially licensed, you can use whatever you want. Like for example, like there was a Gamer Pick that unlocked in Gears of War if you beat the game on the highest difficulty, so it was kind of like a badge of honor. You can go into Horizon and just set that as your profile picture without having ever played Gears of War. And it will show up on the 360 and even on an Xbox One that's your profile picture. So yeah, you can do whatever the hell you want with those Gamer Picks, but all those old things, like the MLG packs and all that stuff from back in the day, that's all gone. Which, who really cares about that, but it is going to be gone. A lot of old DLC will be gone, obviously, like a lot. That's the bigger thing, really, is the DLC, because a lot of games that had no that had no digital purchase available, they had DLC. And that's like the thing that I'm going to get at here is the majority of 360 games either are backwards compatible or were never available digitally anyway. So like a lot of the stuff that people remember, like the Forza games, those were never available. I don't believe they were ever available for purchase on the store on the 360. If they were, they definitely aren't now. A lot of other stuff just was not, like most of my 360 collection was never available digitally, like Battle for Middle-earth 2, stuff like that. You know, that was just never available. And then, so like I say, a lot of it comes down to DLC, and there's going to be a lot of stuff lost there. Some other stuff that will be lost is digital copies of original Xbox games, because like there I read Burnout 3, that game was never made backwards compatible on the newer consoles, which is a damn shame. But you could always buy it on the 360, and I have that game digitally on the 360. And that'll be gone. I don't know what games are part of the Xbox Originals line that weren't brought back other than Burnout 3, but I know there were some, like Halo Combat Evolved is still up for sale, I believe. They delisted San Andreas a long time ago. I feel like the majority of the original Xbox games should be available still. There is a glitch, however. I want to make people aware of this while we're at this. If you buy Splinter Cell, Pandora Tomorrow, or Chaos Theory on an Xbox One console or series or whatever, it will not be available on your 360. It just will not be. If you buy on the 360, you get it for both. For whatever weird reason, just those 3 games were affected by that. So that's just a little heads up. If you want it on the 360, you have to buy those games on the 360, even if you've already purchased them on a newer system. You gotta buy them on the 360 too. So that's another little thing. So original Xbox stuff will be lost, which sucks. Not as much as the 360 DLC though, because the big problem is we're just getting now to where emulators are available for some of this stuff. But like Tamada 360, man, is a bitch. It really is a bitch. And people are saying, it's not that big of a deal. Man, I don't care how big of a deal it is. Tamada 360. If you get to the point where you have to actually modify the hardware for every single system that you get in, and you go through these fucking things all the time, you have multiple systems, I don't care to put that amount of time in. I simply do not. I'm not going to do it. Like with an original Xbox, there's a little bit of labor involved, but nothing huge. PS2 is nothing. That's fun, man. But 360 modding is just a bitch. And that's going to be a problem, because once all this stuff's gone, it's gone. For the overwhelming majority of people, unless you've got a modded console or you already had it, you're kind of screwed. And I don't know what the state of preservation is for the DLC in terms of if people have all this stuff backed up. I have no clue. Like, I know with the PS3, they got most of it backed up. Even a lot of the stuff that's already been delisted for 10 years, they have it backed up. So PS3 is basically a safe console, believe it or not. But the 360 is in a lot worse position. And I'll be curious to see any word on that, to see if people have the DLC or if they don't. Because it could just be gone forever. Who knows? So that's something. Get the DLC, back it up. I don't know. Again, I don't know. I haven't had a modded 360 in a long time, and I never played with this kind of stuff on mine. Can you back up the DLC on it? I believe you can. But if you have a modded system and you have all this stuff purchased, you can back it up onto your computer and upload it. Because that would be good. And same for the games, of course. So, but like I say, it's not the biggest deal in the world, because a vast majority of these titles, original Xbox ones that were backwards compatible, and 360 games, and their DLC, are all still going to be available for purchase on a Xbox One and Series console, and you can play them on there. And from what I gather, and I'm almost certain this is the case, since they show up in your purchase history, you can still download them on the 360, which is what matters to me. So it'll be okay, I think. There will still be some avenues of acquiring new content for your 360 system. It's just going to be, you're limited to that selection that's available on the whole Xbox family, pretty much. The 360 exclusive stuff will all be gone. So it's like a halfway point. It kind of sucks, but at this point, you know, it is what it is. We just got to get it over with, I suppose. After 18 years of the 360. And the only thing that worries me, really, is like, the 360, for whatever reason, the clock only goes up to 2025. I don't know why they set that limit. It was probably just an arbitrary 20-year limit that they put on it. But from what I gather, again, a lot of this is from what I gather, that clock will continue to go past 2025. It's just you can't set it past that date manually. And if you're connected to the internet, it'll automatically sync the time. So theoretically, that shouldn't be a problem. It shouldn't be any kind of bomb or issue, so it won't automatically knock all of the consoles off the servers because they can't authenticate or any such nonsense. It should still be fine with that, because that would be a big problem, obviously. So notwithstanding that, I say we get 10-15 more years out of these servers on the 360, in my opinion. Because I've kind of thought this for a couple of years now, is that what's going to happen with the 360 servers is basically, it's going to get to the point where you're not going to be able to buy anything. The marketplace is going to be gone, which obviously now we know it is. And then slowly but surely the game servers will be shut off. Like they shut Halo off. They've shut a couple other things off. COD has been revived, obviously. But who knows how long that'll go. I don't know if they can probably still shut those down, even though they're pretty much, I don't know if you want to call it peer-to-peer. They aren't hosted servers, really. Because there's a host in the lobby. So they probably leave those up for a very long time. But eventually you're going to get to the point where the majority of the online games are unplayable and there's no marketplace. But the servers are still there. So the achievements sync, your profile syncs, you can have cloud storage saves, and you can re-download your content. And I think it'll stay that way probably for as long as until they move the infrastructure of the whole Xbox system onto something different. It's not gonna go away, which is inevitable. It depends on when. I wouldn't be surprised if it comes when like the Series S and stuff, Series X, when that stuff goes away. But we'll just have to see. Obviously, they have more room for firmware updates there. So, but I say I give it 10, 15 more years that we've got on the 360 servers. So that's pretty good. And for me, that's all that really matters. All I care about, because I already own everything I want to own. I don't think I'm going to buy anything at all. Because I don't really even play the 360 that much. I mean, I have a 360 set up here. The only thing I really do on it is play Battlefront, the original Star Wars Battlefront game, which I own digitally, which is nice. So I don't have to pop a disc in. And as long as I can continue to log into Xbox Live to authenticate that digital copy, that would be great. That's all I really care about. I have the original Xbox DLC on there for that, and yeah, that's all I do. That's all I do with it. Is I play that, and then like sometimes I play Battlefront 2 on it or Burnout 3. For the most part, with 360 stuff, I just play it on the Series S because it plays way better on there. The frame rate's better, graphics look better on a newer TV, and yeah, so it's kind of interesting to be at this point because I remember rumors circulating as early as like 2015 of a shutdown happening, like a full-on shutdown before backwards compatibility was even a thing. Excuse me, but that obviously didn't come to be. And we're in a lot better position now than we were 8 years ago, that's for damn sure. So, yeah, the beat goes on pretty much. And more stuff gets shut down. It's going to suck for preservation. Again, I'm waiting to see about these DLC items that might be lost forever. But we're faring okay with this one. It's not the end of the world. I think that's just the point I want to make. It's not the end of the world. This isn't a panic buyer situation. You have 11 months to grab things here or there. There's not like a whole hell of a lot necessarily that's like crucial from what I've seen so far. It just depends on what you want, really. So anyways, that's pretty much it, man. I know this video is like the fucking drug addiction where I'm just all screwed up, but it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. So I'm sorry that the video took 17 minutes when it should have taken 7. So anyways, I'll catch you guys later. I don't know, I might do a video on some PS3 stuff here soon, because I found some interesting stuff about region-free PS2 games, actually. On a PS3, on a modded PS3, that is. So, anyways, I'll probably do that soonish. Otherwise, I don't know. I have a couple other video ideas, but we'll see when I get around to them. So, catch you guys later.